All right. A meditation you can repeat as you go into the night. Know that the changes are being made. Your perceptions are being expanded to recognize dominion. Like a homing beacon, it pulls you forward. It is your choice. It is part of what you are here to create. Brand new. And so we do have time for some questions. John, who do we begin with? And can they unmute themselves?
No. I've I'll add you to the list, Patricia. Um, no. Okay, Helen, you're up.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
I was not conscious for most of the meditation, but at one point the word that came up for me was separation. Like I wanted to release separation for
Beautiful.
this lifetime. And so Harry and I were at Quaker meeting yesterday and we found out. So in the Quaker meeting building, we rent the space to make money and we rent to a Jewish minyan that I know nothing about, but it turns out it's Orthodox. There's about 1,200 members, and they've rented it for years. And people in the meeting there's some people in the meeting who've been wanting to put up a banner. We're on a busy street and use the words apartheid and genocide. And some people in the meeting are like, no. And they've been pushing for months, and it was finally decided we should do it. But before we should do it, we should approach the Jewish minyan. So a minyan is a lay-led congregation. So they don't have a rabbi. They lead themselves. And so the meeting and that within the meeting, there's a group that feels very strongly we have to have a banner that has the words genocide and apartheid, and another group that feels that we shouldn't. And the person who's always had power over the pen ignores the group in the meeting that doesn't, which has always felt very unquakerly to me, and not following Quaker faith and process and consensus and nonviolence. And so it turns out within the Jewish minyan, now that we have consulted them, so they govern themselves by a board of 11 people and they're Orthodox. So, they probably skew more to being hardline, but apparently there are people within the minyan who are like, if we go ahead with this banner, it seems like the minyan is going to they'll stop renting from the Quaker meeting and they will actually permanently break up and it will destroy the minyan. They've had different homes throughout the city, but the Quaker meeting has become the home that really worked for them for years and years. And so some people within the minyan agree with apartheid and genocide, and some don't, and this is going to break it. Um, And so we've had one meeting. Harry and I didn't think we could do the meeting because the two initial meetings were scheduled when we were in Utah at Sundance. But then because of an ice storm, one meeting got postponed. So the first meeting already happened. And sorry for this very lengthy description. But so the first meeting already happened. And the co-clerk of the meeting said, listened more deeply than he's ever listened in his life. And there were times when it really burned him up and he was very angry and he had to ground himself. So I'm assuming there's a lot of racism from the Orthodox members that are probably of the, um, really pro-Israeli, that it's hard to listen to. And so I'm trying to figure out how to, like, we only found out about all of this yesterday, so I've had no time to really process this. So this morning we were super busy yesterday. I got very triggered today on how do I, like, now I'm going to be doing deep listening tomorrow, potentially with a lot of racists. And it's an interesting thing because I was really trying to figure out what what are we doing there, and or what am I doing there, and why am I participating in this conversation? And the other thing so there's two things. One is I've also been listening to this guy who worked for Israeli intelligence, military intelligence for 10 years. And I've been ignoring the whole Epstein file thing. But then with listening to him, he was there in the room when they, recruited Epstein. And so here's a guy, if you believe him, giving his first-hand account of, yes, he was Israeli and he was operating under Israeli intelligence, and um and how it all came about, um and they've been blackmailing, the Israeli intelligence has been blackmailing world leaders for decades. And he said that frankly the worst of it all was Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton really wanted to create peace with Iran and the Palestinians. And they placed Monica Lewinsky and da da da, and they're peddling children, boys and girls, amongst all these world leaders and blah 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 blah. So, anyways, the first thing I was wondering is, and I found the whole thing absolutely fascinating. And I was just trying to think, like, peddling, like the way this guy is describing it, peddling young boys and girls is so awful. And if this is my illusion, and here I've created this thing where global leaders are all being blackmailed by the Israelis, the people who are persecuting my people, is it to create, like, if sitting in a movie theater and this is my illusion, and I've created this incredibly complex movie of people that are oppressing my people and then blackmailing world leaders with children to make sure they can continue to oppress my people. Abraham talks about contrast. Is all of this done? Did I create all of this as a reflection of how big I want to create reality? Like, it's so awful and so messy. That's an equivalent mirror to how much I want to create, how big the impact it is I want to create when I create something. It just seems so weird. Like, why would I create such an awful thing? And then the other, like, but that is also so complicated, it's fascinating. And then for tomorrow's meeting, I was trying to think, well, what is it that I want to create? And what I was realizing, if this is my own reality, it's about creating, having the Quakers. I most, in some ways, care about the Quakers. Like, who are we in our religious faith? How do we want to behave? And I can't help it if the minion wants to break up or doesn't want to break up. But what I can do is say, I want us to behave within our values and listen deeply and try and practice love. And we're being told, you know, I will say within the Quaker meeting, even we have quite a few Jews in the Quaker meeting, and most of them at this point within the Quaker meeting do believe that what Israel's doing to the Palestinian is wrong. And so we have a, a tradition of operating with social activism. And if you believe, which most of the people in our Quaker meeting do, that there's all these children and civilians that are being slaughtered, we need to do something. I don't really think the banner and a banner with genocide and apartheid is going to do it, but what does it look like to be respectful, but not necessarily not violent, but in dominion, but disruptive? And how? If you want to have impact and you want to say this is wrong, you can't just say, oh, hey, look, it'd be nice if we all just kind of, held hands. I mean, there's got to be some kind of level of intensity that, that grabs people's attention. And so it's that balance of being respectful to the minion, but I think it's okay if we make people uncomfortable because otherwise, what's the point? But I don't believe in using I do think this genocide and apartheid word is a dominating thing and silly at this point. And, and so maybe it's about trying to talk to the minion about if we're acting within our Quaker faith and practice and we believe what we're saying and we're trying to be respectful to them, and we want to be loving and we're consulting with them, not as landlords, but as equals. How can we do it in a respectful way? Anyways, I don't know. Like this has all happened at the last minute and I'm sort of rambling. Would love your thoughts on all of this.
All right. And so those two words are quite powerful. They have meaning in your world, and they're intended to have impact. And so having a meeting with other parties who might be affected, but without really giving them the choice, it sounds as though the Quakers are going to do what they're going to do, is what we heard when you first started talking. They've already decided we're going to use these words, and we're letting you know.
No, I think we're debating. Yeah. I think there's a couple people that are committed, but not the whole group, not the whole Quaker group.
Okay. And so until the Quaker group has a decision made, there's no point in going to others. Although you have already gone to others, you see. Because if you're sharing, this is what we're going to do, how do you feel about it? How would it influence your behavior when we do this? It's already a done deal, you see. They can't unthink what was presented. And so as you now have consequence, not you personally, but the Quaker group has consequence. Oh, we're actually pushing people away with this. That maybe that wasn't expected. Maybe that wasn't truly understood, that would be the impact. That it's an excluding energy. And as you say, but I don't know what to create instead. And so we need you to step into the dream of what will you have when this is done? How will you know it's done? Well, we would have a population that has safety, that has security, that has their needs met. They would have dignity. They would have a sense of community. They would have a sense of future. So we're just giving you ideas. Feel free to add to it. So as you step into the reality where they have it already, what do you notice is important to your people? What's important to them? What have they learned about themselves? So you notice that what you had to give up was separation. It's interesting how important identity is. National identity, cultural identity, and unique individual identity. Part of what's being challenged here in your world at this time is, who am I really? And what is important to me? And do I have the freedom to express what is important to me? And as we always encourage, with harm to none, with elegance and ease. Because it's easy to express a viewpoint and cause harm, isn't it? You've seen it again and again, where people have just expressed their point of view and you feel as though they are attacking you. And so as you are making a map to create new communication, a new path forward, where it does matter, as you said, that your values are represented. So it does matter that you have positive impact. You cannot control their response to you.
Just a second, guys.
Put up. All right. Yes, dear one, we're back. It's probably not going to last the whole time, but we will do our best. All right. And so as we were speaking about impact, certainly so. The real question becomes, as you began to say, how can I be creating this? It's not what I want. It's not, it seems as though I'm creating an ugly reality. So what is being reflected is more and more of the chauvinism is being broken apart. It's no longer acceptable. It's no longer the way forward. It has had consequences on you individually as well, on you as a child, as an adolescent, as a woman, as a Palestinian American. The chauvinism is pain, is separation, is choosing, well, I'll just be the masculine energy. And yet you were born into this world knowing you needed to bring the feminine energy forward. And so you have done so. And as you say, you're listening deeply. How beautiful that you are listening deeply to what is the higher truth. And so even though you cannot control the outcome, you can dream the reality the way you want it. I would want a solution where everyone gets to express themselves, and that the solution that is found is with harm to none. And you can't see it in what is being presented. It just looks like if we say what we believe, it's going to hurt them because they don't agree with it. And yet we need to say what we believe. So as everyone is allowed to say what they believe, in the current matrix, it's hard to see, how's this going to work? I'm just going to make people angry. They're going to make me angry. We're never going to agree on anything. And you might have even heard or said yourself at times in the past, it's amazing that we communicate at all, because each of us are unique individuals having a unique physical experience. How is it possible that in me being so unique and separate, you might say, from everyone else, all the other souls that are having their unique experiences, how is it that we come together at all? And so in these moments of wanting to have broader impact, it is important to come into yourself first. It is important to center yourself and to bring dominion into you first, so that you open to new ideas, so that you listen differently, which you are doing so beautifully, so that you understand, okay, this is complex, and this new information that these Epstein files are interlinked with Israel in a way I could not have made this up. It sounds like a movie script. And yet, as you take back your authority of authoring a script, okay, what is the consequence? What changes in my viewpoint, if anything? What do my values say are important about information that's coming at me from my illusion? And as you really let in, okay, I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to have a voice. I'm here to bring forth a more loving way of being. And I'm faced with a world that just wants to go to war, that just wants to manipulate, that just wants to blackmail. What happened to honor? What happened to the values of the Knights of the Round Table? The valor, the loyalty, the love, and many more qualities. Chivalry. What happened to those values? It's as though they are being masked by this negativity. And so as you pull that veil off, set down the glasses of chauvinism. And when you do, you feel the pain. And so many don't want to take them off. They don't want to feel the pain of how wrong they have been, of how they have misunderstood the priority. Now you yourself have healed so very much of your own chauvinism, of your own need to be separate. You have healed so very much. You have a sense of belonging. You have a sense of communion and connection and safety as a result. You have love in your life. And from that stance, new realities are possible. Because you're not looking at black and white realities. Well, either we get what we want or they get what they want. Although it's presented that way in your world. Well, you just have to do what we say because, well, we have the upper hand. And so it becomes an intriguing opportunity to create reality differently. What if you introduce complexity? What if you add curiosity and mystery? What if you ask for solutions to solutionless problems? Introducing new energy changes everything. Suddenly, new ideas show up. New voices emerge. New courage, new confidence, new solutions. what looked as though it was an impasse can open up to something new. Nothing is written. Nothing is fate. You can take the information that's presented, find out, okay, what response am I having? What matters to me about this? Where do I want to create a difference? Where do I want to author a different story? Where does your movie impact in this? How can it be a guiding light? As you focus your attention on, well, I don't really know why I'm part of these discussions, except that you have a future self who is benefiting from them. And which optimal future self, which benefits to your optimal future self can you align with? And as you really let in, I don't need to know exactly, but I can know that my presence matters because of my intention, my luminous intent for my world. So it matters that I'm in the room. Whether I say what I think or feel or not doesn't matter so much. My energy, my resonance, my presence changes the dialogue, brings more light and more love to the topic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's your starting point. And as you open to, oh, my optimal future self and my higher self got me to be there, and Harry to be there, if he's a part of it.
Yes, he is.
Yes. Our optimal future selves have participated in a positive outcome. When I come forward knowing that's already there, and it's just to be curious about it. Oh, I wonder what they have in store for me. I wonder what the opportunity is. They clearly want me to be there. I wasn't expecting to be here. And as you allow for that intervention to have your higher self and your optimal future self drop in new resonances, drop in new ideas, new conversations, new awarenesses within yourself and in Harry as well. Because you have made progress on this topic within yourself, and you're wanting to see it reflected. I want there to be progress. I don't want to leave it at tit for tat, either or. I want there to be love as a core principle and mattering, that everyone's voice matters. And when I have that as my priority, and I look for that, and I support that when I hear it, your presence really does matter. Because that's what you bring. Even if you never say a word, your resonance dictates the change. All right, beautiful.
Thank you,
I
Tara.
love you stuff. All right. Hopefully we answered most of what you wanted to hear about.
Thank you, Tara.
All right, John, who's next?
Monica, if she's able. She seems to be having trouble.
Yes.
Yes, dear one.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, sir. I was. And thank you for connecting. The universe did this wonderful. I created it. I was like, it's gonna happen. It happened. Learning from Tara the best.
All right. And so tell us, where do we begin?
Yes. Okay. So I've done the acceptance, connecting. Want to check. I'm checking myself, my higher self, if I need to redo. Because I going back to my future partner. 'Cause I I feel buzzing when I look at him. I see this big heart buzzing, and I feel comfortable. And I just like, okay, the courage, he's getting there. I don't know. He's nervous. I'm nervous. Like, we're both super nervous, but he's a man. He needs to. Sorry, just thinking here, old school. The fairy tale guy likes girl, the Cinderella. I know it came from the universe. The Snow White. Um, all, all good and positive. So I just want to see if any advice of myself to, maybe I'm not connecting to my higher self, or just any input on that. Thank you, Tara.
All
Please.
right.
I like him. There.
Yes, we love you so. And so, certainly so, being focused on being loving is the key. So, who am I being when I'm being loving, when I love myself more, when I love him as well? Who am I being? Allow the love to guide you, to guide your words, to guide your self-expression as well. And as you do that, it's important to know that, okay, the love keeps me in my spiritual adult. The fairy tales, you might want to talk to your little girl a bit about that, or your adolescent, and allow them their reality where they get to have the fairy tale. But in those fairy tales, there's some pain, and you don't necessarily want to bring that into what you are creating. And so as you release the fairy tale and instead allow the beautiful reality that unfolds out of it instead, you see, they specifically keep those endings vague. They ride off into the sunset. There are no details about what comes next. You get to create that for yourself. And so as you spend time in imagination, when I feel love for myself first, and I have more than enough love to give, and I feel my love for him, I get to dream a new dream of what is relevant, what's important to me about expressing that love. Because you'll find that as important as receiving love is, the giving is even more important. That expressing yourself through love is what you are about, is why you are here. And so we assure you, you are right on track. We love you so.
Beautiful. Tara, one more thing. Say one more thing, please. Permission.
Yes.
Thank you, beautiful Tara. I'm having so it came to be, as you know, who I am. Everybody's different. They have their own identity, realization, imagination. Anyway, going to myself, I have quite a bit of a, I don't know, like important people that I'm not sure what they're asking from me, or they want to be near me, and they'll find ways to get near my vehicle, or somehow, they think I don't know. Of course, I know. Who can hide from the sun or the moon? And comment on that is playing with the sun, like right now, humanity, what they're doing. I mean, I feel sorry for them, because when their time is to go, they're gonna go where is not a good place. But anyway, going back to my question of this beautiful positive is, can you please, my creativity, my positivities with love, what answers does he need? Is it help, protection? I guess I do. It's up to the universe. Everybody's different. Free will. Just any input on that. If you can just look around me and you can see it. I'm being begged because again, this is being recorded, but
Yes, of course. All right. And so what's important is to not give away your power to the illusion that it is. So as you change, the illusion changes, and you have had that experience again and again. So if what I'm out here isn't what you want, notice what feelings are coming up, what thoughts are coming up, what's familiar about how you're responding to it. Is it something you're familiar with? If it is, you need to go back within yourself, just recall all of your energy from the illusion and say, okay, let's start over. I want to get grounded in the love. And when I'm grounded in the love, I know that the highest priority is for me to express myself with harm to none, with elegance and ease. And that this relationship seems as though it will lead there is one of many possibilities. This or something better. As you allow the universe to be more complex, to be in tune with you and what you are creating, it will all go much more easily. Because as soon as the question becomes, what should I be doing differently to get what I want out there? Seems like a harmless question. But what it really means is, how can I control out here so that I get what I want? In that, you don't really know you're creating what's out there. And you need to get yourself back to center, saying, okay, wait a minute. I get to write the script. I get to dream the dream. I get to create it brand new. And what's important about the love, about having love, about being loved? What's important to me about having a relationship? And you don't need to tell us, but there are certain images of what life would be if you had someone who loved you completely. As you allow your higher self to first be that for you, higher self loves me completely, unconditionally, no conditions. Human beings don't tend to be in the same vein. However, there are human beings who know they have a higher self and who understand love also. And when they know that they are loved, they are free to give their love. And so that's the dream you are dreaming. Oh, the more I love me and feel connected to higher self, the easier this path forward becomes. So we're keeping it fairly simple, but you understand between the words, there's a whole lot of magic that's happening. Does that help?
Yes, beautiful Tara. Thank you for this time and space, and I got it, and I'm seeing it. Thank you so much. I love you very much. Thank you.
Yes, we love you so.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
All right, John, who is next?
Henry.
Hello, Tara. Thank you for being here.
Yes, dear.
With us, me, again in this wonderful setting. I've had I think, a very self-pitying week, and I'm in a kind of pissed off place, and trying to lift myself up, and also thinking, well, why bother lifting myself up, and I'm kind of worried where I'm at, and I mean the thing that's kind of dominating everything at the moment is is my phone problem, which I haven't been able to get someone to actually help in the way I need help with it, because there's various combinations of a new phone and an old phone and a new upgraded carrier and and needing to go to another carrier and all those different sort of things which I can't do myself, and I haven't been able to find anybody to do that, and just I mean, it looks as if I could lose my phone numbers in the next few days, and so that's kind of dominating everything. And then otherwise, you know the way that it's been going. That talking about yes, going to events and having events and getting the rise out of that and doing that. I've just been thinking, it's so much the old way. I can see that that well, I can't really do as much of that, and because really I do have to keep my eye on this problem, and I know that isn't the way to do it. And I did go to one event, which was a lot of different sound events over 3 or 4 hours, which I thought was going to be absolutely wonderful. And I didn't get there until quite late on. And it was really underwhelming, actually. And then I realized, well, that's my attitude, isn't it? At the moment, I try to lift my attitude up, and it helped a little bit. And I thought I was going to be able to have good conversations with lots of people about all this sort of thing. And I had one really nice conversation, but the rest I was feeling so separate and so just kind of worried that I'm just kind of pissed off and just thinking about giving up. And then I'm thinking, well, I don't want to do that. And
All right, so let's because some of this is familiar, isn't it?
yeah,
But
totally.
what's new is being pissed off. That's actually progress.
Yeah.
So having a good rant after we finish tonight, go have a 5-minute rant. Get it out of your body, get it out of your energy field, because anger demands expression, as you have
Yeah.
heard from Lazarus.
Yeah.
And so to let it out is energizing. Suppressing it is, it can become apathy. It can deaden your emotion. And so
Yeah.
as you're judging having anger, instead of just letting it run its course, okay, I'm just angry at this and that. This hasn't worked. I've tried everything, or it's not going the way I want. And as you vent that anger, then you're going to notice that, oh, I haven't actually visualized the elegant solution that could come.
Yeah.
I'm really good at seeing the problem and being fearful of the outcome of the problem. I have great imagination for that. But I haven't really just imagined what would it feel like if somebody just popped into my reality and took care of it.
Yes, I do think about that, and but I don't let myself go so far with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important to do that because it builds the resonance that attracts the solution.
Yeah.
So it's not going to necessarily be exactly as you imagine it, but by being willing to imagine it, I can see myself having the solution. Oh, the new phone works. Oh, the numbers are all there. The data's all there. What does it feel like to know that this is complete, that this problem isn't a problem, it was solved easily? What would it be? What would it mean about you to have it be solved easily by somebody else? Is it good or is it bad?
Well, I mean, I think about that all the time, and whatever I'm working on seems these days to extend and expand, and just in terms of in terms of the problem, just holding on, not being able to get through the problem. And I'm thinking I just need to let that go and just let it happen. But there's there's a kind of another aspect to it, I think, which is, yeah, okay, so when this one is done, what about the next one? And what about the next one? And what about that other one? And
Yes, fascinating how it problem after problem, if you see them as problems.
yeah,
So there's the known problems. Those are on the list of higher self, universe, fix these things. These are the known ones. But how much energy are you giving to the unknown? How much are you allowing the universe to bring you delightful things?
yeah.
To engage with you on the mystery and the magic and the miracles?
Well, that had been expanding as we were talking, but
Yes.
this week I've got more bogged down. But
So it's a rhythm.
yeah,
And as you let go of the judgment that says, oh, I'm doing it again, and just say, okay, what's important to me about feeling this way right now? And if you come to the point where you say, I don't really see any value in it, it's just a habit, it's just what I do, that might be one answer. The other answer might be, oh, well, I really am feeling sorrow, or I am feeling shame or guilt or pain or whatever is there. Betrayal could be there. But do I want to stay in that? Can I find the solutions in those resonances? Not
yeah,
really.
yeah,
You can explore those resonances, and that's valid, but that's not really what you're up to right now. You've
yeah.
spent a lifetime exploring those resonances, and you're ready to be done with them. Doesn't mean you're never going to feel them again, but you got the juice out of it. You got the important recognition. Oh, this feeling shows up when I'm doing this, or when I'm thinking this, or when I'm being that.
yeah.
And that's been very useful to know, especially in my acting work. I have a full range of emotion available to me. And that full range of emotion is also available in creating reality.
Right.
And so whether you're acting and directing or not, it comes to bear. You spent enough in the depths to also have the depth in the highs, to be available to the ecstasy, to the beauty, to the magic and miracles that are available.
Yeah.
And part of you says, I want to be that way all the time. And you will be one day. But in order to be in those higher resonances more and more and more, you need a stepping stone, or you need a bridge. You need a pivot. And the pivot is the easiest way. Abraham says, reach for a better feeling thought, and that's sort of building the bridge.
Yeah.
And that is completely valid. And there's also just the pivot. I feel this now. Is this what I want to feel? No, I don't. What do I want to feel instead? And we speak of feelings with you because that is your domain. Emotions are your domain. That's where you feel powerful. That's your world.
Yes,
Not every, some people, it's their genius, their thoughts. But for you, it is the emotions. And when you let in, oh, I need to ignite my passion
yeah,
in order to raise my resonance. I need to take a match and light it up like a pilot light.
yeah,
So how am I going to do that? What thought, what feeling sparks my passion? Is it something like, I don't have to feel what I don't want to feel. I can change emotion on a dime. I have lots of practice. Any script I read when I'm acting has many emotions, and I can just go move from one into the next and the next, and it usually culminates into some intensity, and then I get the accolades because I move and wind the way through those levels of emotion so beautifully that at the end it carries everyone into those higher resonances or into the depths if it's a dark emotion. Doesn't matter. They're all wonderful. And as you recognize, that is who I am. That is what I bring. That's the need to go out and be among the people. But I can also do that for me and have my audience be my higher self, my optimal future self, my spirit, my soul. I can have my unseen friends, my fairy friend, the crystal beings in my keeping, can hold that spark for you and gift it to you when you need it, when you don't remember to do it for yourself. You don't have to do it all alone. You don't have to remember it perfectly, you see. That's the new script. The old script says you have to be perfect. You're going to fail because you're not perfect. You're not taking things seriously enough. Don't play. That's the old script, isn't it? The new script is have fun, allow your higher self to ignite the passion and to show you what's possible today, and have your optimal future self pulling you forward into a new dream. All of that you are doing beautifully. And when you falter is usually when something's been triggered. Oh, I still have that problem. This beautiful stuff must not be real. And to the lesser self, the beautiful stuff isn't that real. The lesser self just wants to survive another day. And when you're truly in the lesser self, beauty doesn't have value. Love doesn't have value. It's just making ends meet that has value. And when you really let in, my life is worth more than that. It's okay for me to transcend the mundane. In fact, I'm meant to transcend the mundane. I'm supposed to create miraculous solutions. I'm supposed to have help show up magically.
Yeah.
Just because I really get that, oh, this activity here, it's not me. I'm not good at it. I don't want to do it. Or it'd be nice if I could, but I don't really want to spend time learning that skill when I could be in this resonance over here of beauty, of love, of generosity of spirit. And it really comes down to measuring which resonance do I feel good in? And which one supports who I'm becoming? Which one is coming from the future? Which one has more light? And so as you just go into your night this evening, allow the dominion to filter in. You have an instruction already, whether you remember it or not, that the integration will complete while you dream tonight. And simply ask your higher self, look, I've been angry that the solutions haven't been there. Help me lift whatever needs to be lifted to be available to new solutions, not the ones that I've thought of, because they're not working, they're not happening, but new solutions that I haven't yet dreamed of. Help me dream a new dream. And so, as vague as that instruction seems to be, it opens something new for your higher self. It's granting your higher self permission to make a change. Because as long as you think you have to make the change, by default, you're telling your higher self, don't mess with things until I ask.
Right.
Because free will is your free will. And so it does require explicit permission. And so to work with that today.
Right. Right. The I'm always well, I'm always just this idea of emotion being so important to me is I mean, I always thought I wasn't an emotional person, and you know, that I couldn't feel my emotions and things. Perhaps that was true in the
Well,
early
we
days.
want to clarify, feelings are not necessarily emotions.
Oh,
Feelings indicate emotional state.
yeah.
They guide you into the emotional state, but emotions are much more. There's a mystery to emotion. And there's an integrity to the journey of emotions. And it's that journey through emotion that you find appealing, we would say. There's a mystical quality when you move through emotions in a certain sequence and achieve something new with it. It's about building resonance.
Oh, that's yeah. That's That's. I need to think about that. Well, I need to feel about that, don't I?
Yes, think and feel, they go together.
Right.
Absolutely. And as you get to that sense of, okay, I've thought and felt about it enough, then now I want the mystery. Now I want what's beyond what I can sense. Now I want to immerse myself in the magic and the miracles that are available when I let myself know there's more than what I can perceive.
Yes, I'm just finding so much of my time is, well, yes, a lot of my time is just sitting around, not you know, doing what we've talked about doing. I tend to wake up in the morning and think I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get up, and you know that's it, that's going to be the end of it. And then I eventually get around to that, but there's just a lot of hanging around, trying to get into an emotional state and thinking I can't get into it. I can't get into it. I can't get into an imagine something wonderful, and it's just all kind of and then I don't know. I mean, yesterday I I decided there were various events on, so I went to various events, which were I had some good conversations, but and then I did the sonnets, you know, a kind of acting thing, and that was great, and that pulled me up. But then I spent 3 hours with someone from the acting, talking about. She doesn't really know much about metaphysics, but we started talking about the wounding and talking about those things in life which she was feeling really bad about with her sister and her mother and things like that. And actually, that kind of went on for 3 hours, and I was thinking this is going on too long. But at the same time, I was very conscious and very on it, and she was, and I was realizing that and telling her, you know, you probably may not be hearing everything I'm saying, but it's there, and it was giving her a whole new idea of what it could be, and that felt very good indeed. And then this morning I just woke up into and not wanting to get up again, and So when you say yes, I mean, when you say yes, just think about getting into a different state of being.
Yes.
It's it's it always just seems like, I think it always seems like too much effort, but I guess it has been changing in that I have been going to events, even though I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't be going to this event, I should be sitting at home and worrying. But it's all right, I can worry on the bus. But,
Exactly. Exactly. Yes,
but,
it does
but
help to have a change of scenery. Does
yeah,
help to get out of your own energy sometimes. And
yeah,
so as you begin to recognize, oh, okay, I need to ask for help with lifting some of this stuff, some of
yeah,
these residues, some of these energies that I've been dredging up and that I've become familiar with, because I don't want to have them be who I am. They are not who I am,
yeah,
but they are familiar, and the lesser self feels safer in them. And that's part of the journey is allowing you the more to have a say in your day.
yeah,
Am I going to be connected and ask for help from the unseen realm? Or am I going to default to the status quo, whatever it is? And you know what you're doing, which one you're in, by how you feel.
yeah.
Do I
Although,
feel alone and separate, or do I feel connected and hopeful and knowing
yeah.
that I'm taken care of? Does that help?
Yes, it, yeah, feeling I'm being taken care of it is always an effort somehow, except, oh,
Yes. Well, you would have to let in that you are worth loving. And we've
yeah,
already talked about worth and love from divinity, the triangle of divinity. Self-worth and self-love are worth and love gifted to you by God and Goddess.
yeah,
There is no earning them.
right.
It
Well, it
doesn't
was
matter what you do. If you never do anything in this life of value to you, if you never create something that you say, wow, I really got done what I came to do, and you have already by
yeah,
giving birth to that new world already with the other map maker magicians. But as you are now left with, okay, what next? I got to design what I want it to be next. Oh, sometimes that feels like a lot of work that I don't want to do. But as you set that down and say, no, it's not work that I don't want to do. I just don't want to do it alone.
yeah,
And so I need to dream the dream where I have the support system.
yeah,
Dominion is about community, about communion, about my higher self and my soul and spirit being a part of my daily life. That my child and my adolescent are having the most optimal positive experience they can possibly have as well.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one, where do we begin?
Well, as usual, my body is reflecting everything that I am feeling and thinking about the world at large and myself personally. But one of the biggest things is just this overwhelming fatigue. And it doesn't seem to matter how much I sleep at night. Um, I just, during the day, I'll have like a couple of hours of high energy in the morning. And then after that, if I sit down in a chair for 10 minutes, I'm asleep. What is what is it? I guess what's coming to my mind is I'm carrying things and I'm feeling exhausted by that. And there's, I don't know what to quote unquote eliminate, I'm finding myself less and less engaging with people, more and more solitary. Doing things like I have this incredible compulsion to go through every closet, every room, and just throw things away. Just trying to, I guess, unburden in some way. I don't know. I mean, I get a sense that that is what's going on, but I'm not clear about what to throw away, what to stop paying attention to, what to, you know, where to not not throw the triggers, and the things that bring me joy. um it's almost like I hoodwink myself into doing them. It's, oh well, maybe I'll write this today. Oh yeah, wow, I really enjoyed doing that. Or maybe I mean, little things, but it's like the last things on the list. Everything else is feels massive and heavy and whatever. So, um, and it almost feels like I just want to put my house on the market and go pitch a tent somewhere and just be unburdened. So whatever your thoughts are, is it just me individually? Is it the world at large? I don't want to withdraw my magic from helping to resolve what goes on. Um, anyway, very confusing. So there it is.
So when you think about your optimal future self inspiring you, let's sort through what doesn't serve you anymore. As you allow your optimal future self to guide you in, is there a future with this item? Is it part of who I'm becoming?
Mhm.
And to sort in those terms. And as far as whether to put your house on the market or not, of course, that's always a choice. But you always want to dream the future first. For what purpose? Is it in line with who you're becoming? Is it in line with what your next step is? Is this location, does it still suit you? Are there too many memories of who you were? In some cases, moving helps people sort through and make an identity shift. It's not always the case, and it's not always important to make that as a choice. Some people buy a new car, some people change homes, some people get new jobs, some people travel. So, but what is clear is that on a subconscious, unconscious level, as you say, cleaning house. I'm letting go of what I don't need, that doesn't represent who I'm becoming. I'm willing to let go of what doesn't serve a purpose for who I am or who I believe I'm becoming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
And the
What about,
tiredness, absolutely, it does cause tiredness when you're letting go of the old. And so what needs to be done is to reassure your inner self, hey, there's an optimal future that's replacing energy here. And I need to dream the new dreams. So when I feel tired, I'm not just going to go to sleep or rest my eyes. I'm actually going to ask my higher self to bring forth the optimal future self who's healing and changing those resonances, who's helping me let go of the ones that don't serve me and guiding me to my next day. Does that help?
yeah, and I just came to me as you're talking that uh, healing and change is takes energy.
Yes,
So
it does.
so I must be changing at a very deep level That's another
Absolutely. Yes.
aspect of this.
Yes, at the identity level, identity image. We'll combine the two. At your core identity, who am I really? I'm a map maker, I'm a magician, I'm a reality creator, and I'm a creative being. The form that my creativity has taken has been in the physical plane. And yet I'm also called forth to create a new world that has never been. And so while I want to be able to do both, I need some magic time. I need some internal time so that I can allow the new world to emerge. And I'll still go about my creative work, but I'm going to set aside some time to just be and let the change occur. And in a world that doesn't really value be going within as much as there's lip service to it. Oh, just go to a yoga class or just go do a meditation. That should be all you need. But as a map maker magician, you know the universe calls you to be on its schedule.
Mm.
So when the archetypal energies are swirling around you, and there's solar flares and volcanoes and weather and climate, and there's all this intensity swirling around the world, political, economic, whatever, crises, as you understand, oh, that's my signal to gather energy, to gather from that intensity so that I can use it to change at a fundamental level. And often it will show up as you just feeling tired. It will just feel as though, oh, I just need to sleep in, or I need to take a nap, or I need to just be alone for a little bit. It's not a permanent condition, but it's long enough to reconcile some of the changes that are occurring. I've got all this input, and I don't know what it is. It's not that I can perceive it so clearly. I might hear about it in the news here and there, but I don't necessarily consciously acknowledge it. But my unconscious is preparing me for it, is making the changes I've requested. And that can take energy. But know that it's not for no reason, and that energy will be a source of new creativity, will be a fulfillment of a new reality when it is complete. Does that help?
It does. And then the other, I have a couple other physical things, of course, playing out. I've had this cough that I can't seem to get rid of for like 2 months now. And antibiotics and I do not get along well. They cause really horrible things for me. So I did try that, but it set off a chain reaction of a bunch of other stuff. So that, and then there's just a lot of pain in my shoulder and in my hip. And I keep getting the message that, it relates to what we're talking about with the fatigue and that what am I shouldering here? And what am I not shouldering that I should be? More. Yeah. So
Well, that whole plane is throat chakra, isn't it?
yeah, it
You
is.
think of it in terms of spheres around each of the areas where you have your chakras. So throat chakra issues tend to be around self-expression. So new forms of self-expression. And as an artist, you're going to naturally think it's in that arena.
Mm.
And it might be, but you may also find that it may be around being the authority. So shouldering responsibility speaks to authority, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So expressing myself as the authority, as an author of reality creation. How much do I really let myself know that this out here is a script that I wrote on some level with higher self, with soul, with God and Goddess? And it's for me to understand what are my current raw materials and what am I missing. When I reach for a new future, what do I notice is missing? Is it showing up in the triangle of humanity, in the self-confidence, in the self-respect, in the self-esteem triangle? Or is it showing up in divinity, in the self-awareness, in the self-worth, in the self-love? As you recognize, okay, that who I am becoming is already in existence. The most optimal version of me who has what I want already. And you have shared some dreams along the way, so those are still in play. As you let yourself know, oh, the me that has that dream already is guiding me to it.
Mm.
We're going to need to take a break. All right. And so certainly so the throat chakra topic that we ended with a moment ago. It's important to really look to see, okay, what forms of self-expression am I allowing myself? I have mastery around the creative arena. What other areas have I perhaps neglected in order to have creativity be the priority, be the safe haven that it is? And as you reach for more love, more light, more healing of whatever is there, more community, more communion, partnership, whatever form it takes, we're sensing it's in the relationship arena. As you allow yourself to see yourself having the relationships that you want, that are fulfilling to you, that allow you to be the light and the love that you are. And to notice what immediately pops up as why you can't have that yet, or what's in the way of it, or thinking it's not me, it's them, however it shows up, you're going to reveal to yourself the matrix, the beliefs that are underlying what has been stopping you around that. And as you turn that all over, to work with the Weaver woman, to work with higher self, to go to the dreamer, you have many, many unseen friends who are willing to help you with this. To weave a new tapestry, more beautiful than before. Already quite beautiful, but more beautiful even so. Something that transcends what you have created so far.
Mhm.
There's some dread there. Yeah, but how do I know it's going to be okay? That's the lesser self. Wanting the guarantee, wanting to know it's going to be okay. And you, the more, can provide that reassurance because you have the vision. With the visioning of how it will be, what it is you are committed to creating for yourself, and seeing yourself as whole and complete, seeing yourself, as John said, pain-free. The you that's optimal doesn't have the pain. Well, how did that come about? Well, maybe you dreamed some solutions that you don't yet have. Maybe there are some miraculous resources that show up. Maybe it's all energy, and therefore it changes with you. Maybe I don't have to take what I know myself to be with me, because that part of me is from my past. Now, some of you are going to have issue with that. Yeah, but you know who you are because of your past. And we assure you, Patricia has an incredibly in-depth past of power and creativity and magic that she can take with her forward. It's the pain and the suffering and the struggle and the martyrhood that needs to go.
Yeah.
As that's released from the fabric and new energies are input woven into it instead. More love, more light, more miracles, more magic. What can be different? What can be possible that you haven't yet allowed?
Mhm.
To work with it in those terms. Certainly so. And since Katrina is coughing up, we'll let you go for now.
Okay, thank you so much,
We
Tara.
love you so.
You, Tara.
And so we go for now. We go with love and peace to each of you. As we bring Katrina back, we go with love and peace. Until next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.